G'day, I'm Kevin Young. I'm Australia's most successful property investor, but I started out poor and I'm constantly being asked, how do you do it? How do you get there? You ask me, I'll give you the solutions. Between us, we'll make you wealthy. G'day, welcome back to Ask Kevin Young, and we're here at the 22nd annual conference held on the lovely Gold Coast, and we've got Rob with us, President of the Young Investors Club.
Oh, thanks, Kev. Lovely down here. We've put the weather on, which is wonderful, and I've been looking around and I've found myself a very keen young investor in Matthew. He's got a few questions that he wanted Kev to have a bit of an answer of and see how we go.
Thanks very much for having me, guys. So I guess my first question is it a good idea for young people to invest in property? We're at the earliest part of our life. We don't have as much capital behind us. Can we really afford to own homes?
Well, mate, that's a good question, and the answer is we've got people who are working at McDonald's as 18-year-olds, and then walking around to the boss and saying, why are you paying tax? We're not paying tax, we're buying property. And how we got them started was their dad in each case had a bit of equity in an investment property. He knew about the club system of doing it, so they lent them, I think it was 70 or 80 grand as a deposit to get them into a investment property. And with a mortgage insurance, you don't need a real lot of deposit. And that really kicked them off. And we've got a computer program here that Rob can show you there, that we put your income in, high or low, whatever it may be, and the computer sorts out so that you're not putting much money in at all, so that it's not causing you to have a diminished lifestyle, but you're seeing your property as it's grown. And the idea is it's like snowball rolling down the hill. As it grows, you can get a bit more of that rising snowball and put it into a deposit for another property, and then another property. And it's amazing how quickly you can get that snowball rolling into multiple properties. How many properties have you got now, Rob?
We've actually got 4 at the moment, and I've got our deposit up for the next one. So it'll be hopefully by the end of the conference we'll have 5, and then moving forward from there, that's the plan.
And how long ago did you start?
We started in 2007, and our very first property 2007, and then we sat on it for a little while because we still had a lot of questions and wanted to know, is that the right thing for us to do? And we decided that everything we found with the club was actually really positive, and there was all these investors out there that could give us advice on how to go forward and what to do next. And they'd fallen in the holes and they'd got themselves back out, and Kev had helped do that. So that was a good thing for us because we had that experience and that support behind us, which was wonderful.
Matthew, it's great you've got the drive to want to get into property because you're so young. And I was just talking to Bernard Salt before, and he was saying that most people your age don't live until they're in their 40s and 50s to think about it. And by then they don't have many years left to really accumulate a lot of properties to avoid a part pension at best to live on. And I was at a barbecue a couple of weeks ago, and one of those guys came to me and said, my wife and I are 4 years away from retiring. We've just worked out our super's going to run out 4 years after we do retire, and all we've got is our old home. And panic was setting in. He was 61 and panic was starting to set in then. At the time I thought there's not a lot I can do for that guy, but then I realised later we're living longer now, and he's probably got 30 or 40 years ahead of him, and if property doubles every 10 to 14 years, then he's going to go through 2 to 3 doubling cycles. So whatever he buys now will just grow and give him a more comfortable lifestyle even at this late startup stage. So at 27, your world's your oyster.